That fixed it. Yes, ma'am. You're off. Um. Let's check to see if this is working. Testing. All right. I think first stream is a go, right? All right. Let's get this shit. Um, where do I want you? Don't want you here. Let's see. Webcam, video capture device. You're going to have to be smaller, that's for sure. Game capture, because it's locked. Alright. No, I think that's the move, because my character is over here. Alright. Let's lock those up. Game capture. Alright. I am fucking starving though. I'm gonna look for a fucking snack and then I will be right back. Holy shit. Alright, let's fucking get it. Let's see what we got. Coin flip. Always choose tails. Sorry, brothers. I choose heads, but we are a tails gang here. Terrible start. Mute my mic when I eat. I just noticed he also had a fire deck. But I think we'll be fine here, to be honest with you. Fire cards are pretty strong though, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good card at the beginning. Pretty much. Torkoal. 90. I cannot read right now. I have no idea why. Touch this Pokemon. Okay. Um. I don't know if that's the move. We're gonna keep it because it's unnecessary to put on there. All right, let's read this up. Lance. Discard an energy to this Pokemon. Pretty solid, to be honest. 200 damage. Yeah, he's probably gonna get a fucking first turn shot. Good for him. Okay. Nice little wonder tag. Alright, there we go. That is what we're looking for. Alright, go to you for now. Question is, no, this is kind of a one-shot game at this point, so I'm gonna attach this to him. Boom. I didn't even look at my prize cards. I should have done that before. Um, Definitely gonna have to grab Litleo. And then, to be honest, probably going to have to grab... That's a hard choice, to be honest, but I'm gonna grab Caitlyn. Cynthia and Caitlyn, because much more value, and I'd rather have them now than later. And even if they get shuffled into my deck, it's gonna be much better time for me rather than having to force them out of the prize pool, I think is the word. Um, yeah. And I could end, but that's only gonna put me at a disadvantage. Let's see what we got here. Each energy attack to both active Pokemon. Okay, we'll take it. So, double coming in clutch. Let's see what we got here. Cool. Um, that's a good question. I think we're going to go ahead and do this, because yes, 3 energy now is much more worth it. Actually, I'm going to hit that number, and then we're going to get some energy. Cycle that through a little bit. Boom. Now, if I can get really lucky, I can kill one of these with my Pyroar. Unlikely, but I think it's not a bad shot, considering double takes less damage, right? And then these don't evolve, or at least I'm pretty sure Tapu Lele doesn't evolve. It shouldn't because it's a GX. Point is, these shouldn't evolve, so they shouldn't get really any more health than they currently have. Really, brother? Alright, 30, probably like, see, 5, 6, 180, 150, we'll take it. It's not bad. Okay, so 30 times 3, that's 90, 210, cool. So we can wipe this one out, no problem. Let's go ahead and get our Pyroar here. Going to go, boom. Gonna get some more energy. Start cycling our fire deck, because that is the entire purpose of our deck, is to get energy in our graveyard or a discard pile, and then straight onto our Pokemon. Let's see. I don't really need this at the moment, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and preemptively do this and add some fire to my boy. I'm over here trying to attack him like this, like it's God's Unchained. Um, well, that's so satisfying. I'm really in the Gods Unchained mindset, so I'm over here acting like me attacking him is going to do damage to my Pokemon, but that's just not how that works. So this is actually really satisfying. And I think I'm going to grab the inn because if I can get him down to 3 cards and I essentially choke his energy, preventing him from being able to actually cycle through energy, and then this should just be a win. Also, if he doesn't have anything to respond to my double this first turn right here, then it should just be GG's. But let's see, he might actually. Okay, he's probably gonna get an energy. Good job. 90, 60. Alright, so even if he misses, he's still gonna knock out our double V. But that's why we have the Pyroar in the back. Takes no basic Pokemon damage, right? So none of these Pokemon are currently valid. Cramorant might be a problem here in the future because it does evolve into a VMAX if he does have that card. But, yes, this should be fine. I want to go for this Heatmore because if I can get Heatmore out there, I can basically just get an insta-kill. I can probably just kill this Tapu Lele, get that those two prize cards. But I don't know. It's really interesting because no, actually, I'm gonna go for it. Fuck it, because the only reason I don't want to put it out there is because um, he has how do I describe it? He has the possibility of switching it out, right? Because if he has a Lysender or some other card that is able to switch one of my Pokemon out, he can easily just kill this Pokemon. Not necessarily, but more than likely he'd be able to do that. So we're going to in. Yes. I'm going to take two cards. He's going to take one, greatly depreciating his chance of finding the card he needs. Any cards, really. If there's any card in his deck that he's looking for to help save him at this moment, it's probably not in his hand at the moment, which is the whole point. Um, so let's see if we can knock this out. I'm looking for some more damage, which I'm not really going to get. So the question is, how long does it take to kill him, and does he get the cards he needs before I get the cards that I need, slash I do the damage that I need to do. If I'm able to do 120 right now, I could knock him out, but I don't have that kind of heat on me, so it's a little worrisome. Yes. Okay. Um, let's see what we got. Should I hmm. Low key? All right, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna need him at this point. Breakson, 100%. There's no real reason we should discard our energy. Like we have enough energy in here to for yeah, just in case we need a blacksmith or whatever. We're going to add you, and then here's the kicker. We are probably no. We're gonna fish for this. I thought about it. I'm an idiot. I could have played that way better. I could have won this first turn. So just to clarify, what I should have done is I should have attached an energy to Charizard and Reshiram, retreated, switched to him, right? Then Eldegoss for a blacksmith, and then attach two energies. One turn kill. That is the power of this deck. The fact that I can get 2 to 4 energy per turn, not per turn, per one card, and then also attach an energy, makes Reshiram Charizard extremely dangerous and really such an OP card in my opinion. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna get anything really out of this though, so I'm really just hoping he doesn't have the card he needs. It's gonna really fucking suck if he has a card that he needs and I get oofed because I should have won last turn. And if he pulls out a Lysander, it's just that's GG's. Let's see what this does though. Okay, so this won't do any damage, so he's retreating. That's smart, but I should win this turn. So considering retreated, there's no damage being done. I can do the same move I was just referring to and not be punished for it. So we did end up catching the win. But sometimes, especially when you're playing with actually good people, it's important that you really one count your cards, two placement as far as timing, right? Because sometimes playing the right card at the wrong time is one either going to cost you the game or two cost you a lead that you didn't need to give up, right? So Gonna go ahead and attach these bad boys. Give them good, well played. Sucks to suck. And then, boom. And that's how you win. No, not really. That guy just was unfortunate to have a lack of energy, definitely. But at the same time, that in play was the move because I'm sure one he either had cards to get energy, um, which he already had a stadium out there, right? So even if he had a card that was completely useless or a card that was even good, he could have just discarded it and got more energy from that stadium. So the goal is to make sure that he can't play off of his hand. And he had the world's biggest hand, so my goal at that point is to just make sure he can't play anything. I play my in, and it's GG's from there. I'm gonna check the shop real quick. Is that new set out? No, absolutely not. All right. I was about to say, where's my phone? Let me check that real quick. All right, nothing crazy going on. Let's get it. The whole point of the fire deck, with a lot of decks, to be honest, kind of just the meta form or arc, if that makes any sense, of Pokemon is considering you have 60 cards, right? The whole point of my deck and a lot of decks is to get those cards in your hand or on the board, in your discard pile, or out of your prize cards as fast as possible. Now that sounds super obvious, but it becomes really, really important later in the game, especially with Fire Ducks, how you played um, those cards, right? So, for example, I probably should have saved that to be honest, but I don't think it'll matter. Um, Actually, I'll do one better. What I should have done in that instance is I should have attached the fire energy to double. Here's why. Because a lot of times people will discard your energy near the beginning of the game. Why? Because it's important, right? The more energy you have at the beginning of the game, the more likely you are to be able to attack and win, or at least kill Pokemon, right? So, or knock out, I guess. So if he discards it, that actually benefits me as a fire deck slightly, right? So obviously I don't want my energy discarded on purpose from the enemy, but because it's a fire energy, if it does get discarded, I can retrieve it later without actually having to spend the energy, if that makes any sense. Um, so definitely should have just put a fire energy on there. Plus, similarly, if double goes down, right, if he does end up dying, then I'm kind of wasting an energy by placing that one when I could have also placed it on Charizard, Reshiram, right? Because that's the better move. You want to make it so that you're taking full advantage of your energy at all points in time. Um, we're going to actually, now that I think about it, we're gonna do this. We're gonna discard these two because they're regular fire energy, right? And then I'm going to pull. Definitely gonna grab this, and then I'm going to grab this. And then I'm debating whether, no, wait. I'm going to grab this. Here's why. Because it'll all play out in a second. I'm going to grab this, attach this to double. Boom. Right? I don't want to place this yet, and here's why. Because if he has a stadium card, then I'm going to, one, fuck myself, and two, I don't need this turn. So if he does end up destroying it, it's not only a waste of card, but two, if he ends up placing a stadium next turn, it means that I would have wasted destroying his stadium in place of mine. So sometimes it's about timing. If you don't need it, don't place it, right? It's better to have the card than not have the card. Um, so in that case, we are up It is possible. No, I don't think it's possible for us to lose this next turn. Unless he is a doo-doo head. Let's see if he has the energy for it. Damn, brother. And he gets another double. All right. This is going to be an interesting fight. This is what I was referring to earlier when I was talking about the Cramorant VMAX, because it turns a unlikely situation into a very likely situation, and I lost. He got lucky, unfortunately, but I did lose, and that's just what it is. Um, that is the power, similar with the double V, of the normal type Pokemon. Seriously, man. With that Pokemon, he literally did 210 damage turn 2 just by attaching 2 energy. Now, it's not like a Charizard or something where you're cycling energy and all that kind of stuff, but he just did damage to my Pokemon, obviously based off of luck, but considering that he had way more health than me, and that at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, the reason why a VMAX is really strong, because you'll see a lot of other Pokemon that are VMAXs, right? Not do too much damage, but the point is that they have a fuck ton of health, right? 320 health, right? Two, a tag team card will have 270 health, right? So yeah, they do a lot of damage, but at the end of the day, typically speaking, you're not going to one shot those cards and get the prize cards that they're worth. Now you might, yeah, but typically speaking, you're not just gonna lay off 330 damage immediately, right, to the Charizard VMAX. That's gonna take a hit or two. So as you're building up the energy necessary for the Gmax Wildfire or the Claw Slash, whatever it is, right, he can take a hit. So not only was he able to heal his Cramorant, but, you know, big boy, strong. It is what it is. I have a doo-doo hand, and I think that is important to clarify because if I don't get something out fast, he's going to punish me. Because look at this. 30 more damage to V and GX, right? That sounds bad, but I need to get some get something out fast, because if I don't have some sort of other basic Pokemon, if he gets lucky, so this is a really bad start. If he gets lucky, right, he can just one shot me. Like if he somehow gets 3 energy, or if he's able to do more damage because of a card, right? Maybe not this one per se, um, but if he was, then I would be basically shit out of luck. All right, we're going to boost shake this. Boost shake. Sent to Scorch. That way I'm not here just getting one-shotted and shit. This also gives me a little bit of an opportunity to do some sort of damage, right? So in my deck specifically, so like that's a really good card. Is that a Fusion Strike card? Uh, Rapid Strike makes more sense. Um, Tree Cross, Rapid Strike. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, in your deck, especially with there being a lot of metas out there, right? Decks being focused around one card, 2 cards, one type of play, right? Aggro, defense, choking, stuff like that, right? Your goal is to be able to have, or at least I would like to think, that your goal is to be able to have some amount of cards in your deck that are purposefully there so that you are countering multiple decks at the same time, right? For example, there are a lot of decks out there, as I was talking about earlier, that the purpose of the cards in that deck are to make you cycle through your deck faster, right? What Scorch does is the more energy you have attached to it, it will delete cards from your deck that you can draw, right? And as everyone knows, when you get to 0 cards, like if it's my turn and I have 0 cards in my deck, I can't draw and thus I lose. I'm probably gonna lose this game. I'm just waiting. Uh, yeah, you're probably gonna lose. Uh, or you're going to lose if you have 0 cards. So the whole point of this is to basically negate the speed at which people are cycling your deck. Like look at this for example. I have 41 cards. He has 26. If I for some reason, and this is typically why this is a better late game card. Um, yeah, we're gonna do that. This is a better late game card because if I can stack energy on this and this dude has like 10 cards left, I can basically just one turn win without doing any damage, essentially, right? It's like cards that don't do damage but take prize cards. It's where you're not necessarily focusing on beefing up a Pokemon, but you're making sure. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose this turn, so I'm just going to do whatever. You're making sure that your advantage is there, right? So they can't draw more cards. So like I've been put in that situation where it's like, oh, I have cards that will let me draw cards, but I can't because that dude has a card that one will punish me for it, or two we're both very low, and I can't risk losing that fight, right? For example, if I have 5 cards, he has 4 cards. I don't want to draw a card because then it makes it so that if he makes me discard a card or something, we're even on turns, that kind of thing. Another thing, um, I'll go do it real quick, just to do some deck analysis, just so you can have a better understanding of what my deck looks like. Um, right here, Pyroar, extremely, extremely useful card, and here's the reason why: prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your basic Pokemon. Right? There are a ton of decks, for example, Night March decks, right? In which the Pokemon that are doing the damage, and really most decks in general, to be honest with you, right? Because of V, GX, all that kind of stuff, right? EX Pokemon. A lot of them are basic, and so you're just completely getting rid of all that damage. But a lot of decks, right, are focused around basic Pokemon. For example, um, those Night March decks, right? These Pokemon will have 30 health, but the whole point of the deck is that they cycle. Like you will literally see, like I've had this multiple times, where I'm pretty sure I've lost turn 1 to a Night March deck, and it was very frustrating. But it literally just be like that. They just got lucky. I've had that with my deck where it's like, oh, I got, a Charizard and then um, I forgot what it's called, but I'll just look it up. I get a Charizard and then I get a Kiawe, right? Like that. It's turn 1 GG basically, or turn 2. But these people will have like 30. Let me just look it up. Um, Night March. All right. This Pokemon Joltik has 30 health, right? That is a clean one prize card. Most Pokemon, not most Pokemon, but if you're looking at like GXs and stuff, EXs, Vs, if they have 2 attacks, most of their attacks at the beginning are going to do, like if they have 2 attacks, the lesser energy required one, I don't know how to talk today, will typically wipe it out. 30 damage is not a lot, right? But Night March does 20 damage times the number of Pokemon in your discard pile that have Night March. So people will literally throw like 20, 30 cards in their discard pile because that's the entire purpose of them. They were really never meant to be on the board. So this Pokemon, a basic Pokemon, has the ability Night March. I literally just play Pyroar, and their entire deck is just null, right? This is why you'll see people play things like Zacian and stuff like that, right? Because as one, it's a V. It doesn't really do much against Pyroar, obviously, and it's a metal type. But two, it's a V that does a lot of damage, right? So in that case, that like you need to do damage, you need to wipe out a Pokemon or something like that. You gotta have some sort of backup. That's why you'll see DDs, right? Like a lot of DD change as the ability, stuff like that. But like, look at this. So stuff like this, Lampent, that is annoying, but that's why you also have like this. The cost of Lampent being a stage 2 and avoiding that Pyro ability is that he has to evolve. So if I'm able to kill the Litwick before it gets Lampent, then that's good. But then again, the whole function of their deck is to get from card to card to card, right? There's a card they want, they get to it, and they're pulling from their discard pile as well, right? So more than likely they're going to get a turn 1 Litwick, right? Turn 2 or 3 Lampent. So your goal is then to cycle or facilitate cycling your deck so that you can get to cards that can get rid of those cards, right? So those These cards are for cycle decks for the most part. Also in game, super super strong in game strat. I've literally won a game off of one card in my deck and zero cards in their deck. I just hit Scent of Scorch's 100-foot flames, right? I had like 7 energy on there. He was at like 7, and I hit an in or something like that. And I got like 7 cards on my deck. And then, no, actually, I'm mistaken. Um, I was at 1 card. I hit in. It brought him to 1 card because he had 1 prize card or something like that. And then he had 0 cards in his deck, and I won. Point is, strong card. It does some damage. It leaves burn, which is good. And it's at the end of the day, if it does die, right? If it does die, it is 1 prize card. It's not 2, it's not 3, so I'm not really losing much if he does end up in the shitter. So just wanted to talk about that. Another thing, I added this recently, semi-recently, because I really like the idea of the exciting flame. Not only the fact that it has Flame Cloak on there, right? The whole point of my deck is to put energy in my discard pile to put onto my Pokemon, or from my hand to my Pokemon. That's why I have the Stadium cards, stuff like that. But there are a lot of people that like to, especially with the smaller decks, or not the smaller decks, the decks with 30 health and Night March and that kind of stuff. They rely on having multiple Pokemon, right? Pokemon to cycle to, and switch to, right? Because you're only getting 1 prize card from killing a Night March Pokemon. Joltik right here, 30 health, you're getting 1 prize card, but you're adding 20 damage to that, you know, to the player's ability to do damage to you. So here I can do 90 damage and then also do 180. Sometimes that'll even knock out something of higher value. For example, if there's a lower, like I can, with that Pokemon, I can knock out Eldegoss, I can knock out Volcanion, like in my deck alone, right? Like I can knock out instantly. I can knock out this Pokemon, Dragonite, right? Um, and if other Pokemons are damaged, it's a really, really clean way to do a fair amount of damage, right? And secure a knockout from a Pokemon that's on the bench. Because a lot of Pokemon, right? Or if you're not looking for the knockout as far as damage or prize cards or something along those lines, or maybe you just want to damage them, right? Um, some Pokemon are really fucking annoying to have it on the bench, right? For example, I have a Volcanion. He's not super great as an attacker. In fact, he's actually pretty dog shit as an attacker. He does have 3 energy for an attack, and he is fire and water, which does make him a little good. If that makes any sense as far as the um, typing. But he does his ability allows you to discard an energy and do 30 more damage, right? So if I'm over here, right, with Reshiram GX or Volcanion, for example, if I have to, right, I have Sizzlepede or whatever, Leo, Heatmore. I mean, let me make sure that I'm saying that right. Basic fire Pokemon, right? All of these basic fire Pokemon, and then boom, boom, right? 30 more damage. For example, I have 2 Reshurams in here, right? I draw 1. Let's say I get this card, Energy, right here. Does 10 damage to one of your Pokemon, right? I put it on. I put it on Charizard. Okay, calm down, buddy. I put it on Charizard, right? So now he has 10 damage. Now this is 40 damage, right? For 2 energy. Then, and that doesn't even include any damage that is already on Reshiram. I'm talking about turn 2 damage, right? I put that energy onto him. He has 10 damage on him, right? Then he does 30 plus. Then I have Volcanion on my bench. Does 30 more damage, right? That's 70 damage. I can knock out a smaller Pokemon, right? Or if I already have a decent amount of damage on there, I can knock out a beefier Pokemon, maybe like this one. Or I could, snag an EX or something for doing just enough damage because I had this 30. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier when I was like, I'm looking to get some more damage, but I don't think that's likely because most of my damage sources are actually really coming from the Pokemon rather than buff cards, right? So I do have Volcanion because I figured I do need some sort of buff in my gameplay because sometimes you just don't do enough damage. Or someone has a tool card and you don't do enough damage because of that tool card. Or there's an ability in play, right? For example, Double. Super, super good late game card because he literally takes 30 less damage, right? Some cards don't even do damage to him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's going to get poisoned and stuff like that, but super, super clutch. Like, if you're just not doing enough damage, he will last 2, 3, 4 turns if you're playing him correctly, and you have the energy to actually, to do all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah. I have been meaning, like, this is a good card. I do like this somewhat. But considering that this takes up 4 slots in my deck, and I actually very rarely play these cards, like, I love getting a Delphox off. If I can get Delphox, I can literally bring my hand to 6 cards every single turn and do a little bit of damage on the side, right? He is a bench Pokemon, right? I get him to the bench and he stays there the whole game until I need him, right? But considering that I very rarely get him to the bench, I'm starting to think that there are basically 4 slots right here that I'm wasting, right? So my goal right now is to look at other people's decks, to look at meta, all that kind of stuff, right? And that is really everyone's goal at all times, is to look and analyze what people are doing, what people are saying, all that kind of stuff, to see where you're getting the most bang for your buck. Because at the end of the day, right, there are certain cards that you can't not play, if that makes any sense. Like, not that it is a little OP, to be honest with you, but Blissey, I can't not have this in my deck, and here's why. Because the whole function of my deck is to get energy in my discard pile and cycle through them, and I have a lot of cards that can discard cards, right? I can add, like, for example, I put 1 energy on Blissey. Let's just say I put a fire energy, right? She will do 40 damage that turn, right? But then let's say, for example, let's say I had, um, let's say I had Guzma and Hala, right? I can discard 2 cards. Boom. Let's say I discard these 2 cards. That is 4. 4 total energy that I'm getting, um, while being able to get them from my discard pile. Blissful Blast, this does 30 damage, blah blah blah. If you did any damage with this attack, you may attach up to 3 cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. No, 3 energy cards, not 3 energy, right? So I can attach 1 if it was able to, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5, right? Different energy that are in the discard pile. I can't touch this one, but the rest of them are fair game, right? That is 5 energy 1 turn off of doing 40 damage as well. Then I would have 6. So 6 times 3, that's 180, and that's 190. If I had all of that in there already, right, let's say I just didn't even discard, right, this, or I didn't use Guzma to discard, and I just had cards in there, then it just makes it that much better, right? Because I just have cards in my discard pile to cycle through. Then you get into the really messy shit when this fucker has like 350 damage on him, right? Because she can infinitely, I'm telling you, Blissey can infinitely take energy from um what's it called? Uh, from the discard pile. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. So if you have it on you, you can do it. You can do the damage. It's just a matter of um, getting to it. All right, we're going to get rid of this actually, because I that is, and not only looking at it, that is literally more value because I rarely get this off anyways, so I might as well get rid of that 1 card that was an extra card that I didn't need. All right, let's see. What was I saying? I'm just analyzing here. But some cards are OP and you can't just not have in your deck.
That's what I was saying. For example, you can't not have this card in your fire deck. Like, that's not inherently true, obviously, but like, it's a really good card for the simple, and I mean simple fact that it does as much damage that is done to it for 2 energy plus 30, right? It makes it a beast. If you have 2 energy on this Pokemon, it makes it so that the enemy doesn't want to attack you. It's not that they can't attack you, it's just that if they attack you, it's basically guaranteeing a turn whatever, right? Knockout. In return knockout. If you do 150 damage to this bitch, right, he's doing 180 right back to you for 2 energy. You can then focus putting energy on other Pokemon, or you could cycle, right? You can use that energy for better things rather than like I've literally had this Pokemon out and not gotten more than 2 energy on it and won a game. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit that this card does. Then you have stuff like what's it called? Double. I'd realize I remember I was playing. This is a while back. I was playing against this card. I have the promo here. I was playing against this card and I was like, oh my fucking god, it is so annoying that I'm not doing any damage to this cunt because he takes 30 less damage. Or I wouldn't knock him out because he was taking 30 less damage. And then the more Pokemon I had knocked out, this Pokemon was taking revenge on me. Seriously, man. Like if you have one prize card left and this is your Pokemon, this is a solid ass Pokemon. Seriously, man. This shit will clutch up for you. If you have 5 prize cards taken, like your opponent has five prize cards taken, that is 150 damage plus 120. That is 270 damage. That will knock out most tag team cards, right? Almost all V's, I would think, right? A good amount of maybe not V maxes, right? But it will do damage, hella damage, and if it's damaged already, then it will knock it out, right? It is a really strong late game card. So I don't see why I wouldn't have that in my deck. Dragonite Super Clutch helps me get Pokemon from my discard pile, right? Um, Not a must, but it is really helpful considering it's a Pokemon and it has an ability to retrieve a card rather than using a card like an item or a supporter, right? That's about it. That's pretty much the deck. Pretty straightforward. It's a whole lot of maneuver. My goal though is so sorry. Further point on the Charizard V, not the Charizard V. The must-have cards, right? Because of this new set coming out, right? I do need Charizard V in my deck. Here's why. Because this is a really good way to switch into either Charizard V Max, right? Hey, I need a fuck ton of damage. Or two, Charizard V Star. That is coming out and that is immediately going into my deck. Um, I don't know if I'm able to look at it. Actually, fuck it. Let's just no. Let's see. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's in the game yet. Show not owned. Interesting. There is so many good Charizard cards. Like as far as cards to get on the board, this card is so much worth it. So much more worth it. Once per turn, you may put two damage counters on this Pokemon. Fuck. If you do, search your deck for 2 energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon. Continuous ball. Discard all energy to this Pokemon. This deck does 50 more damage for each card. Essentially, you're getting 130 free damage per turn. Right? Not free. You're taking 2 damage, but you're making so that you're only spending 2 energy. You're not attaching any energy, and you're doing 130 damage. This doesn't include any energy that you're already having attached to Charizard. Super good card. I don't currently use it in my deck. Probably might mess around with it at some point, but I'm not sure. All right, man. I want. This is a good card. This would be nice. A little unfortunate they had breaks in the forefront, but still a good card. Pretty cards. All right, so they have Lance's V right here. This is from Celebrations. Interesting. Um, Flamethrower. Two. Oh, that's a much better card. I didn't even think about that. So right here, Claw Slash. Right, 3 energy and Fire Spin. 4 energy. Discard 2 energy to this Pokemon. So you're discarding 2 energy anyways for 220 damage. When you could be doing 200 damage and discard 1 energy. That's just a way better Pokemon. I need to retrieve that card. Like in my deck, there's no reason I should have, realistically speaking, this card over the other card. Right? Doesn't make any sense. That's a really, really good card. I need to get that. I will get that at some point. Um, let's see if it's in here though. Damn, that's a nice ass card. It's not, unfortunately. Point is, um, I have both of them. It's cool. Um, V Star. I would like to be able to evolve my Charizard V into either a Charizard V Max or a V Star. That way, if Charizard V Max goes down, right? Not necessarily goes down, but let's say it does go down, right? I can still get Charizard V back and then get Charizard V Star. Or let's say I have to discard Charizard V Max, for example, right? I can still have Charizard V Star as an alternative so that Charizard V is not wasted, right? Not that he's wasted because he does do a lot of damage. He is a V card, right? Pretty standard, does good damage, all that kind of stuff. But evolving him into something like Charizard V Max gives him health, gives him good damage, right? Um, so pretty solid. All right, we're gonna go ahead and save. We're in our collection. We're gonna go back to versus, and we're going to try to win some games. We did lose that one, unfortunately, but we're going to try to see if we can get this one on lock. No promises. Let's see. On the coin flip, I go first. You don't have to, um, but I do because I think it makes sense. Typically, you want to get Pokemon out first. Similarly, if you make a mistake, you're punished less for it, time wise, right? Because it's like, oh, I didn't get an energy this turn, but you got an energy next turn. It's not so that you're 2 turns behind. You know what I mean? Because if you go second and you don't have the energy, then really you're fucked. Especially if they have energy. All right, this is actually looking somewhat decent for us. But like I said earlier, I am worried because of this card. He can do a lot of damage to me. If he gets the right cards in his hands. The question is, oh shit. So yeah, pretty much. It's actually really difficult. Um, we're going to go for it, and by go for it, I mean this. We're going to GX attack him, and here's why. We're going to confuse him. This will give us a chance to actually be able to fight, and he heals from the burn, but he doesn't heal from the confuse unless he has something to heal. But this makes it so that we might not die. Unlikely though. Very annoying. We'll take it though. So he just switches out, switches back out. Yep, 300 damage. It'd be like that, right? Um, we can get him back though. Now that I think about it, I'm probably a fucking idiot, and here's why. I have Dragonite, right? So I could have just brought him back instead of having to. Alright, we're gonna go boom. Let's see. So, boom. All right. All right. Boom. All right. We're going to go ahead and place this. Then we're going to do this. Boom. Boom. And then this is really tough. We're gonna try this. Here's what's gonna happen. Damn, I don't want to do that. Cool. He's probably going to kill him. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. We're going to test our luck and see what we get. Alright, we've definitely lost at this point. I don't see why we would win unless we got really, really lucky with like, if we can get actually, if we can get a Litleo, we might stand a chance. Like actually, because all of his Pokemon, damn brother, Dawn Wings. I don't think I've actually seen that card. All of his Pokemon, except for GX, Savali GX, are basic Pokemon. So, damn. That's not a bad card. Like, actually, I might have to look into that. Um, Alright, we're gonna test it, see if we get anything decent. I don't think so. So in my head, in my head, what I'm going through essentially is, can I get a Blissey attack off? So I have a decent amount of energy in here, right? But we're really scrounging at this point. Cool, cool, cool. So he's going to do Flare Strike, meaning he can't do that next turn. So that means I can put this in safely, put down Lit Leo. Um, did you discard? No, that got shuffled. I guess we're gonna try to get Pyroar back. We did it. We did it. We got Pyroar back. Um, now we're going to no, that's not the move. Now we're going to Pokédex. So very, very unfortunately, um, I actually end up losing that engagement. Not losing that engagement. I didn't draw any energy. Very, very unfortunately. So that means that one, he can just kill me this turn if he just switches this Pokemon out. Two, into your hand, huh? I'm trying to think. You're such a bitch. Um, yep, you did it. Not really. Wait. GX and EX. No. Almost though. If that was a GX Pokemon, I would have been finished. Um, I don't think I can do anything about this. Yeah. It do be like that. Um, but you're gonna see it in action. I'm going to get boom, boom, and boom. That is 5 energy in that one turn. Wish I had that last turn, but and he got rid of my shit. I could have added way more energy. GG's. It do be like that. All right, that's pretty much it. Um, if you like the content, slash you want to see more streaming, I like playing Pokemon TCG. I like playing Gods Unchained. If you have to, I can't speak. Um, Gods Unchained. I do play Apex Legends. I'm not super great, but I am in plat at the moment. So, and I am new to PC, so good, but not too good. If that makes any sense. Um, yeah. If you like the content, please do share. I am new, so find me on my socials. I am a lot on TikTok. I want to make that make sense, but I have a few TikToks. I have a Pokemon one. I have a business one for my business, and then I'm planning on making a different one. I have an Eddie related one, so definitely just check out some links wherever they are. New to this. Good luck though. Adios.